The first thing I noticed when I pulled into my driveway after 10 months in Afghanistan wasn't the overgrown lawn or the peeling paint on the shutters. It was Ryan Miller's black pickup truck parked where my car used to go. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. My name is Adrian Wolfe, and I'm a 38-year-old Army captain who just learned that home isn't always where the heart is. Sometimes it's where the betrayal lives. Emily came out to greet me, but her smile looked like something she'd practiced in the mirror. "Adrian, you're early!" She hugged me, but it felt like hugging a mannequin. Behind her, through the kitchen window, I caught a glimpse of Ryan Miller, my former best friend, quickly ducking out of sight. "Traffic was light," I said, setting down my duffel bag. "Where are Jake and Eva?" "At Mom's. I thought we could have some alone time first." Emily's voice had that forced cheerfulness that reminded me of a flight attendant announcing turbulence. Ryan emerged from the kitchen, all 6'2" of him, wearing a sheepish grin and one of my old college t-shirts. "Hey, buddy, welcome back. I was just helping Emily with some plumbing issues." The irony wasn't lost on me. Ryan Miller, who once called a plumber to change a light bulb, was suddenly Mr. Fix-It. "Thanks, Ryan. I'm sure you were very thorough." Emily shot me a look. "Ryan's been such a lifesaver while you were gone. I don't know what we would have done without him." "I'll bet you don't," I thought. But I kept smiling. 10 months of dealing with insurgents had taught me patience. "Well, I'm home now. I can handle things from here." Ryan's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. "Right. Of course. I should probably get going anyway." He grabbed his keys from the counter, my counter, and headed for the door. "Emily, I'll call you later about that thing we discussed." After he left, Emily busied herself in the kitchen, avoiding eye contact. "So, how was the flight? You must be exhausted." "Not really. Adrenaline, you know." I walked around the house, noting the changes. New curtains in the living room. Different arrangement of furniture. A bottle of cologne on the bathroom counter that definitely wasn't mine. "The house looks different. I redecorated a bit. Thought you'd like it." I opened the refrigerator and found 2 six-packs of Miller Lite. I don't drink beer, and Emily prefers wine. "Expecting company?" "Oh, that's for the barbecues. The neighbors have been so supportive." Right. The neighbors. I walked to the window and saw Mrs. Patterson from across the street peeking through her blinds. When she saw me looking, she quickly looked away. Mr. Chen from next door was watering his already wet lawn, stealing glances at our house. My phone buzzed. A text from my 8-year-old son, Jake. "Daddy, are you really home? Mommy said you might not come back this time." I showed Emily the message. "Why would he think I wasn't coming back?" Emily's face flushed. "Kids worry. You know how Jake is. He overthinks everything." Like his father. I sat down at the kitchen table, studying my wife's face. She was still beautiful, auburn hair, green eyes, that smile that had hooked me 12 years ago. But something was different. She looked guilty. "Emily, is there something you want to tell me?" "What do you mean?" "About Ryan. About why he's here so much. About why our son thinks I might not come home." Emily's hands trembled as she poured herself a glass of wine. "Adrian, you've been gone for almost a year. Things change. People adapt." "Adapt to what, exactly?" She took a long sip of wine. "To being alone. To raising 2 kids by myself. To having friends who actually show up." The words hit like a slap. "I was serving our country, Emily. Not on vacation." "I know that, but Jake and Eva didn't understand why Daddy wasn't there for Jake's baseball games or Eva's dance recital. Ryan was." "Ryan was what?" "There. Present. Helping." I felt something cold settle in my chest, the same feeling I got right before an ambush. "How helpful has he been?" Emily's phone rang, saving her from answering. She glanced at the screen and quickly declined the call, but not before I saw the name. Ryan. Emily. What? We need to talk. She finished her wine in one gulp. I'm going to pick up the kids. We'll talk later. After she left, I sat alone in my house that didn't feel like my house anymore. I pulled out my laptop and did what any suspicious husband in 2024 would do. I checked social media. Emily's Facebook was a goldmine. Photos from the past 6 months showed her and the kids at various events, but Ryan appeared in about half of them. The comments were even more interesting. Ryan's such a great friend to your family. You guys make a cute couple. Oh wait, where's Adrian again? Ryan's so good with Jake and Eva. They're lucky to have him. I scrolled through Ryan's Instagram. Multiple photos of him at my house, cooking on my grill, playing catch with my son in my backyard. One photo showed him and Emily at a local restaurant, her hand on his arm, both of them laughing. The caption read, "Dinner with my favorite girl while the kids are at grandma's." Posted 3 weeks ago. I called my buddy Derek, who lived across town. "Hey man, welcome back. How's it feel to be home?" Weird. "Derek, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be straight with me." "Shoot. Have you heard anything about Emily and Ryan Miller?" Long pause. "Adrian, just tell me. There's been talk. I didn't want to be the one to tell you over the phone while you were deployed. People have seen them around town together. A lot." "What kind of talk?" "The kind that ends marriages, brother." After we hung up, I walked through the house again, this time looking for evidence instead of changes. In the master bedroom, I found a second toothbrush in the bathroom drawer. Men's deodorant that wasn't mine. A pair of large socks in the laundry basket that definitely didn't belong to me. But the smoking gun was in Jake's room. On his nightstand was a drawing he'd made, stick figures of our family. But instead of me, there was a taller figure labeled Ryan, standing next to Emily. I was nowhere in the picture. My phone rang. Emily. "The kids want McDonald's for dinner. We'll be back around 7. "Emily, we really need to—" 7, Adrian. I'll see you then." She hung up. I spent the next 3 hours installing hidden cameras around the house, a skill the Army had taught me well. If Emily and Ryan thought they could continue their little charade with me home, they were about to learn otherwise. At exactly 7:15, Emily returned with Jake and Eva. My kids, God, how I'd missed them, ran into my arms like I was their personal superhero. "Daddy, you're really here!" Eva squeezed my neck so tight I could barely breathe. Jake, more reserved like his old man, hugged me and whispered, "I missed you so much. Ryan's not as good at catch as you are." "Ryan plays catch with you?" "Yeah, but he gets mad when I miss. You never get mad." Emily appeared in the doorway, watching us with an expression I couldn't read. "Kids, go wash up for dinner." After they ran upstairs, Emily and I stood in the kitchen, the weight of unspoken truths hanging between us like a loaded weapon. "So," I said, opening one of Ryan's beers, "tell me about these plumbing problems." 3 days passed in a strange domestic dance. Emily went to work at the elementary school where she was a counselor, the kids went to their respective schools, and I watched and planned. The cameras I'd installed were already paying dividends. Yesterday, while Emily thought I was at the VA office, Ryan had come over. They'd sat on my couch, drinking my beer, and Emily had said something that made me freeze. "He seems suspicious. Maybe we should cool it for a while." Ryan's response was even worse. "Cool it? Emily, I've been playing daddy to his kids for months. I've invested too much time in this to back down now just because Captain America came home." "What if he finds out?" "Then we'll deal with it. You said yourself he's different since he got back. More distant. The kids barely know him anymore. A good lawyer could argue abandonment." Abandonment. I'd been serving my country, and they were planning to use it against me in a custody battle. But the worst part came next. Jake asked me yesterday if you were going to be his new daddy, Emily had said, and she'd laughed. Actually laughed. What did you tell him? That we'd see. He's a sweet kid, but he's got Adrian's stubbornness. Eva's easier. She already calls me Uncle Ryan sometimes. I'd had to leave the house after hearing that. Drove around for 2 hours, fighting the urge to do something that would land me in prison. Now it was Saturday morning, and Ryan was coming over to help with yard work. Emily had told me this like it was the most natural thing in the world. I can handle my own yard work, I'd said. Ryan already offered, and he's got the equipment. Besides, you should rest. You just got back. Rest. Right. While another man played house with my family, I was in the garage, pretending to organize tools, when Ryan arrived. He walked in like he owned the place, which apparently he thought he did. Morning, Adrian. Emily said you wanted help with the yard. Actually, Ryan, I wanted to talk to you about something else. I closed the garage door behind him. Man to man. His posture changed slightly, shoulders back, chest out, alpha male posturing. Sure, buddy. What's on your mind? My family. What about them? How much time you've been spending with them while I was gone? Ryan grabbed a rake from the wall, testing its weight. Emily needed help. The kids needed a male figure around. I was just being a good friend. Is that what we're calling it? Calling what? I pulled out my phone and played the audio from yesterday's conversation. Ryan's face went from cocky to pale to angry in about 10 seconds. You recorded us? That's illegal. Actually, it's not. This is my house, Ryan. I can record whatever I want in my own home. He set down the rake, and for a moment I thought he might take a swing at me. Part of me hoped he would. It would make what came next so much easier. Look, Adrian, I know how this looks, but how it looks. Ryan, you've been playing house with my wife and kids for months. You've been sleeping in my bed, eating at my table, and apparently planning to take over my life permanently. That's not... And the thing that really gets me, I continued, stepping closer, is that you've been doing it while I was overseas, risking my life for this country. While I was dodging IEDs and watching friends die, you were here, moving in on my family like some kind of vulture. Ryan's face flushed red. You want to know the truth, Adrian? Your family was better off without you. Emily was happier. The kids were happier. You come back here acting like some kind of hero, but where were you when Jake broke his arm? Where were you when Eva had nightmares? I was here. I was the one who stepped up. You were the one who moved in on a lonely woman whose husband was deployed. Emily made her own choices. Did she? Or did you manipulate a vulnerable woman whose husband was serving overseas? Ryan laughed. Actually laughed. Manipulate? Brother, Emily came to me. She was tired of being married to a ghost. You were never really here even when you were here, always thinking about the next deployment, the next mission. Emily needed a real man. That's when I knew I had him exactly where I wanted him. A real man? Ryan, you're a 37-year-old gym owner who's never been married, never had kids, and your longest relationship lasted 6 months. What exactly makes you think you're qualified to be a husband and father? I know how to be present. I know how to put family first. You know how to prey on military wives while their husbands are deployed. There's a word for that, Ryan. His hands clenched into fists. Careful, Adrian. Or what? You'll hit me? In my own garage? Please do. I'd love to explain to the police why my wife's boyfriend assaulted me in my own home. I'm not her boyfriend. I pulled out my phone again and showed him the photos from Emily's social media. These say otherwise. This one's my favorite. You two at Romano's last month. Emily's wearing the dress I bought her for our anniversary. Classy touch. Ryan stared at the photos, his jaw working like he was chewing glass. Here's what's going to happen, I said, my voice dropping to the tone I used with insurgents. You're going to stay away from my wife and kids. You're going to delete their numbers from your phone. You're going to find somewhere else to spend your weekends. And if I catch you sniffing around my family again, I'm going to make your life very complicated. You can't tell me what to do. Can't I? I smiled, and it wasn't a nice smile. Ryan, I've spent the last 10 months learning very creative ways to neutralize threats. You really want to test me? He tried to stare me down, but whatever he saw in my eyes made him look away first. Emily won't choose you, he said finally. Maybe not, but that's between me and Emily. You're out of the equation as of right now. Ryan headed for the garage door, then turned back. You know what, Adrian? You're right. I have been sleeping with your wife, in your bed, and she loves it. She told me things about you, things that would make you curl up and die if you knew. She's not the woman you think she is. Probably not. But she's still my wife, and those are still my kids, and this is still my house. You're just the temporary entertainment. After he left, I sat in my garage for a long time, thinking. The conversation had gone exactly as I'd hoped. Ryan had revealed his true character, and I'd gotten it all on audio. But more importantly, I'd learned something crucial. Emily wasn't just having an affair. She was planning to leave me and take the kids. That changed everything. My phone buzzed. A text from Derek. Beer tonight? You sound like you could use it. I texted back. Rain check. I've got work to do. And I did. If Emily and Ryan wanted to play games with my family, they were about to learn that I didn't lose games. I won wars. The garage door opened, and Emily walked in, looking concerned. I heard raised voices. Is everything okay? Everything's fine. Ryan and I just had a heart-to-heart. About what? I looked at my wife. Really looked at her. She was still beautiful, still the woman I'd fallen in love with. But she was also a stranger now, someone capable of betraying everything we'd built together. About boundaries, I said, and consequences. Emily frowned. Adrian, what's that supposed to mean? It means the games are over, Emily. All of them. Monday morning, Emily left for work like nothing had happened. She kissed my cheek at the breakfast table, told the kids to behave, and reminded me that she had a late meeting and wouldn't be home until after 8. What kind of meeting? I asked. Parent conferences. You know how it is. I did know how it was. I also knew that parent conferences had ended the previous week. I'd checked the school's website. After Emily left and I'd dropped the kids at school, I drove to Ryan's gym. It was one of those boutique fitness places that catered to suburban housewives and guys going through midlife crises. The parking lot was full of luxury SUVs and sports cars. I didn't go in. Instead, I parked across the street and waited. At 10:30 a.m., Emily's Honda Civic pulled into the lot. So much for parent conferences. I took photos of her car, time-stamped them, and added them to the growing file I was building. Then I drove to the law office of Patricia Hendricks, the best divorce attorney in town. Mr. Wolfe, Patricia said, reviewing the evidence I'd brought. This is quite comprehensive. Audio recordings, photographs, social media posts, financial records, showing unexplained expenses. Your wife has been careless. What are my chances of getting primary custody? With this evidence? Very good. Adultery, combined with what appears to be emotional abandonment of the children? Yes, I think we can make a strong case. I don't want to destroy her. I just want my kids protected. Patricia raised an eyebrow. Mr. Wolfe, your wife is planning to leave you and take your children. She's been building a relationship with another man while you were deployed. This isn't about destroying her. It's about protecting yourself and your children. What do you recommend? Document everything. Keep recording. And whatever you do, don't confront her directly until we're ready to file. We want her to feel secure so she'll continue making mistakes. I left the lawyer's office with a plan and a retainer agreement. Phase 1 was intelligence gathering. Phase 2 would be the counterattack. That afternoon, I picked up Jake and Eva from school. In the car, I asked casual questions about Uncle Ryan. He's okay, Jake said diplomatically, but he doesn't know how to make pancakes like you do. Does he sleep over sometimes? Jake and Eva exchanged a look in the rearview mirror. Sometimes. Eva said quietly. In the guest room. Interesting. They'd coached the kids to lie about it. Does Mommy seem happy when Uncle Ryan is around? I guess, Jake said. But she gets mad at us more, and she's always telling us not to tell you stuff. What kind of stuff? Like when Uncle Ryan took us to the zoo, or when he bought us ice cream. Mommy said it was our secret. Teaching my children to lie to me. That was going in the file, too. That evening, Emily came home at 8:15, slightly out of breath and smelling like men's cologne. Sorry I'm late. The meetings ran long. How did they go? Fine. You know how parents can be. I nodded sympathetically. Must be exhausting, dealing with difficult people all day. You have no idea. After dinner, I helped the kids with homework while Emily took a long shower. Her phone, which she'd left on the kitchen counter, buzzed with text messages. I didn't touch it. I didn't need to. The cameras I'd installed were capturing everything. Later that night, after Emily fell asleep, I reviewed the day's footage on my laptop. Emily and Ryan at his gym, in what appeared to be a heated discussion. Emily gesturing frantically, Ryan trying to calm her down. Whatever I'd said to him in the garage had rattled them both. Good. The next morning, I put Phase 2 into motion. I called Emily's school and spoke to the principal, Dr. Martinez. Dr. Martinez, this is Adrian Wolfe, Emily's husband. I just got back from deployment and I wanted to thank you for being so understanding about Emily's situation. Of course, Mr. Wolfe. We're always supportive of our military families. I was wondering. Emily mentioned she's been having some personal challenges while I was gone. Has that affected her work at all? There was a pause. Mr. Wolfe, I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, just that she's been dealing with some relationship issues. I hope it hasn't been a distraction. Relationship issues? With her boyfriend, Ryan Miller. I'm sure you understand how complicated these situations can be. Another pause. Longer this time. Mr. Wolfe, I think perhaps we should schedule a meeting to discuss this in person. That would be great. I'd love to come in and talk about Emily's future with the school district. After I hung up, I called Ryan's gym and asked to speak to the owner. This is Ryan. Ryan, it's Adrian. We need to talk. I told you yesterday. This isn't about yesterday. This is about today. And tomorrow. And every day after that. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that you're about to lose everything. Your business, your reputation, your little girlfriend. All of it. You're crazy. Am I? Check your email in about an hour, then call me back. I hung up and sent Ryan a package of photos and audio recordings. Not everything I had, just enough to let him know how much trouble he was in. Then I called Emily's mother. Margaret, it's Adrian. I'm back from deployment. Adrian, how wonderful! How are you settling back in? It's been an adjustment. Margaret, I need to ask you something, and I hope you'll be honest with me. Of course. Did you know about Emily's relationship with Ryan Miller? Silence. Margaret? Adrian, I thought you knew. Emily said you two had an understanding. An understanding? That you were taking a break because of the deployment stress. We're not taking a break, Margaret. We're married, with children. Oh my God. Adrian, I had no idea. Emily told me. She said you'd agreed to see other people while you were deployed. That's not true. I feel sick, those poor children, and you overseas thinking everything was fine at home. Margaret, I need you to do something for me. I need you to not tell Emily we had this conversation. Can you do that? Yes. Adrian, I'm so sorry. I never would have supported this if I'd known the truth. After we hung up, I sat back and smiled. In one morning, I'd planted seeds of doubt with Emily's boss, her mother, and her boyfriend. Now, I just had to wait for them to grow. My phone rang. Ryan. You son of a bitch. I assume you got my email. You can't do this to me. I'm not doing anything to you, Ryan. You did this to yourself when you decided to move in on a deployed soldier's family. Emily loves me. Emily loves the attention. There's a difference. She's going to leave you. Maybe, but she's not taking my kids, and you're not going to be part of their lives either way. We'll see about that. Yes, we will. That afternoon, Emily came home early from work, her face flushed with anger. We need to talk. About what? About whatever you said to Dr. Martinez. I just thanked him for being supportive. You told him about Ryan. I mentioned that you'd been dealing with some personal challenges. Was I wrong? Emily stared at me, and for the first time since I'd been home, I saw real fear in her eyes. Adrian, what are you doing? I'm protecting my family. By sabotaging my career? By making sure everyone knows the truth. What truth? That while your husband was overseas serving his country, you were playing house with another man and teaching our children to lie about it. Emily's face went white. The kids told you. The kids didn't have to tell me anything, Emily. I have eyes. Adrian, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. You got lonely, Ryan was available, and you made a choice. What I don't understand is why you thought you could continue making that choice now that I'm home. Because I love him. There it was. The truth, finally. Then leave, I said simply. What? If you love him, leave. Pack your bags and go, but the kids stay here. You can't keep my children from me. Our children, and watch me. Emily's phone buzzed. She looked at it, and her face went even paler. What's wrong? I asked. My mother wants to have lunch tomorrow, to talk. That sounds nice. Adrian, what did you tell her? The truth, Emily. Just the truth. That night, Emily didn't come to bed until very late, and when she did, she stayed on her side, as far from me as possible. I lay awake, listening to her breathe, and thought about the man I'd become. A year ago, I would have tried to work things out. I would have suggested counseling, compromise, forgiveness. But a year ago, I hadn't spent 10 months watching friends die while my wife was betraying everything we'd built together. War changes a man. It teaches you that some enemies can't be reasoned with, only defeated. And I was very good at defeating enemies. Emily's lunch with her mother didn't go well. I knew this because Margaret called me afterward, crying. She lied to me, Adrian, for months. She told me you were having problems, that you'd grown apart, that you'd agreed to separate. What did she say when you confronted her? That it wasn't any of my business. That I didn't understand how hard it's been, being married to someone who's never really present. She blamed you for everything. And what did you tell her? I told her that her father was in Vietnam for 18 months, and I never once considered cheating on him. I told her that marriage means something, and that those children deserve better. Thank you, Margaret. Adrian, I'm ashamed of my daughter, and I'm worried about Jake and Eva. They're going to be fine. I promise you that. That evening, Emily came home like a hurricane. She slammed the door, threw her purse on the counter, and turned on me with fury I'd never seen before. How dare you turn my mother against me? I didn't turn anyone against you, Emily. I just told her the truth. Your version of the truth. The only version that matters. The one where you betrayed your marriage while your husband was deployed. You were gone for almost a year. Serving my country, doing my duty. What were you doing? Surviving, raising 2 kids alone, dealing with everything by myself. With Ryan's help. Yes, with Ryan's help. He was here, Adrian. He was present. He cared about what was happening in our lives. He cared about getting into your pants. Emily slapped me. Hard. I didn't flinch. Feel better? You bastard. Maybe. But I'm a bastard who was doing his job while you were doing the neighbor. Ryan's not the neighbor. Right. He's your boyfriend. My mistake. Emily started crying then, big heaving sobs that shook her whole body. You don't understand what it was like. The loneliness, the fear, not knowing if you were coming back. So you decided to replace me. I decided to survive. By sleeping with my best friend. By finding someone who could be there for me and the kids. And now? Emily wiped her eyes. Now what? Now I'm back. So what happens now? I don't know. I do. You choose. Him or us. But you don't get both. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. You're married to me, Emily. We have children together. We have a life together. Either you want that life or you don't. And if I choose Ryan? Then you leave. Tonight. But the kids stay here. You can't do that. Watch me. Emily stared at me for a long moment. You're different. War will do that. You're harder. Colder. I'm realistic. I used to believe in things like loyalty and commitment and honor. Then I came home and found my wife shacked up with another man. I never stopped loving you. You just loved him more. It wasn't about love. It was about need. And what do you need now? Emily looked around the kitchen, at the family photos on the refrigerator, at the kids' artwork on the walls, at the life we'd built together. I need time to think. You've had 10 months to think. What you need now is to decide. My phone rang. Ryan. Don't answer it, Emily said. I answered it anyway. What do you want, Ryan? I want to talk to Emily. She's right here. Hold on. I put the phone on speaker. Go ahead. Emily, we need to talk. This is getting out of hand. I know, she said, looking at me. Meet me at the usual place. We need to figure this out. Ryan, I can't. Not tonight. Why not? Because her husband is standing right here, I said, listening to you make plans with his wife. Adrian, this doesn't concern you. My wife doesn't concern me? Your wife made her choice months ago. Did she? Emily, is that true? Did you make your choice? Emily looked back and forth between the phone and me, trapped. Emily? Ryan's voice came through the speaker. I need time. Time for what? Ryan asked. To figure out what I want. You already know what you want. Do I? Emily was looking at me now. Do I really? I hung up the phone. Well, I asked. I want my family back, Emily said quietly. Which family? The one you have with me, or the one you've been building with Ryan? The one I have with you. Had with you. Before everything got so complicated. It's only complicated because you made it complicated. I know. So what are you going to do about it? Emily took a deep breath. I'm going to end it with Ryan. When? Tomorrow. Tonight. Adrian. Tonight, Emily. Or I call my lawyer first thing in the morning. Emily picked up her phone and dialed Ryan's number. It's me, she said when he answered. We need to talk. Can you come over? Emily, no, I said. Not here. Not in front of the kids. She nodded. Meet me at the park on Maple Street, 20 minutes. After she hung up, Emily looked at me with something that might have been respect. You're not going to make this easy, are you? Nothing about this has been easy, Emily. Why should ending it be any different? What if I can't do it? Then you've made your choice. And if I do end it, then we'll see if we can put our marriage back together. Do you think we can? I looked at my wife, really looked at her. She was scared, confused, guilty, and desperate. But she was also the mother of my children and the woman I'd loved for 12 years. I don't know, I said honestly. But I'm willing to try if you are. Emily nodded, grabbed her keys, and headed for the door. Emily? She turned back. Don't come home unless it's over. Really over. I understand. After she left, I went upstairs to check on Jake and Eva. They were both asleep, looking peaceful and innocent. Whatever happened between Emily and me, these kids didn't deserve to be casualties. I sat in Jake's room, watching him sleep, and made a promise to myself and to them. No matter what happened with Emily, my children would be protected. They would be loved. They would be safe, even if it meant destroying everyone else in the process. My phone buzzed with a text from Derek. How's the home front? I texted back, about to find out. An hour later, Emily came home. Her eyes were red, her makeup was smeared, and she looked like she'd been through a war. "It's done," she said. "How did he take it?" "About as well as you'd expect." "Meaning?" "He said I was making a mistake, that you'd never forgive me, that I was choosing the wrong man." "And what did you tell him?" "I told him I was choosing my family." I nodded. "Good. Adrian?" "Yeah?" "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "I know. Can you ever forgive me?" I looked at my wife, standing in our kitchen, asking for forgiveness for betraying everything we'd built together. 6 months ago, the answer would have been automatic. Now, "I don't know," I said, "but I'm willing to try." It wasn't much, but it was a start. I should have known Ryan wouldn't go quietly. 3 days after Emily ended their relationship, he showed up at Jake's baseball practice. I was in the stands with the other parents when I saw him talking to Jake near the dugout. My son looked uncomfortable, glancing toward the stands like he was looking for help. I was down there in 10 seconds. "Ryan, what are you doing here?" "Watching Jake play ball. I've been to every game this season." "The season's over. This is practice. For next season, which doesn't concern you anymore." Ryan smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "Jake and I are buddies, aren't we, buddy?" Jake looked between us, clearly uncomfortable. "I guess." "Jake, go back to practice," I said. After Jake ran off, Ryan and I stood facing each other near the third base line. "You can't keep me away from them," Ryan said. "Watch me. Those kids love me. Those kids are confused. There's a difference. Emily's going to change her mind." "No, she's not." "You think you can just come back and erase 10 months? I was there, Adrian. I was their family. You were the help, and now you're fired." Ryan stepped closer, close enough that I could smell the beer on his breath. "You know what Emily told me? She told me you're not the same man who left. She's scared of you. She should be. She said you're cold now, distant, that you don't even seem like you love her anymore. Maybe I don't. Then why are you fighting so hard to keep her?" "I'm not fighting for her. I'm fighting for my kids. Those kids need a father figure who's actually present. They have one, me. For how long? Until the next deployment? Until the next mission? Emily told me you're already talking about re-enlisting." That was a lie, but I didn't correct him. Let him think what he wanted. "Ryan, I'm going to explain this once, and then we're done talking. You are not part of my family. You never were. You were a mistake my wife made while she was lonely and scared. But the mistake is over now. She'll come back to me." "No, she won't." "You want to bet?" I smiled, and it was the same smile I'd given insurgents right before they learned why messing with American soldiers was a bad idea. "Sure. Let's bet. If Emily comes back to you within the next month, I'll give you $10,000 and step aside. But if she doesn't..." "What?" "You leave town. Permanently." Ryan laughed. "You're crazy." "Probably. Do we have a deal?" "You're serious." "Absolutely serious." Ryan looked at me for a long moment, trying to read my face. Whatever he saw there made him nervous. "Fine. 1 month. 1 month." We shook hands, and I squeezed just hard enough to let him know I could crush every bone in his hand if I wanted to. That night, I told Emily about the conversation. "He won't give up," she said. "He will. You don't know him like I do. I know him better than you think." Emily was right, though. Ryan didn't give up. Over the next week, he called Emily constantly. When she stopped answering, he started texting. When she blocked his number, he created new numbers. When she blocked those, he started showing up places: the grocery store, the kids' school, her work. "He's stalking me," Emily said after finding him waiting by her car in the school parking lot. "What did he say?" "That he loved me. That he wasn't going to let me throw away what we had. That you were manipulating me." "What did you tell him?" "To leave me alone." "And?" He said he'd never leave me alone. That if he couldn't have me, he'd make sure you couldn't either. That night, I called Derek. I need a favor. Name it. I need you to keep an eye on Ryan Miller. Follow him, see what he's up to, document everything. You think he's going to do something stupid? I think he's already doing something stupid. I just want to know how stupid. Derek called me back the next day. Your boy Ryan's been busy. He's been asking around about you, talking to people at the VA, trying to get information about your deployment, your mental state, whether you've been diagnosed with PTSD. Has he found anything? Nothing useful. But he's also been talking to a lawyer. About what? Custody rights. Apparently, he thinks he can claim some kind of parental relationship with your kids based on the time he spent with them. I laughed. He's delusional. Maybe. But he's also desperate. And desperate people do stupid things. Derek was right. The next morning, I woke up to find my car's tires slashed and the words "baby herder" scrawled across it, spray-painted across my garage door. I called the police, filed a report, and had cameras installed to cover the entire exterior of the house. This is escalating, Emily said, looking at the damage. Good. Good? Adrian, he's vandalizing our house. He's making mistakes. Every mistake he makes gives me more ammunition. Ammunition for what? For destroying him. Emily stared at me. You planned this. I planned to protect my family. Everything else is just Ryan being Ryan. That afternoon, Ryan made his biggest mistake yet. I was at the VA office, dealing with some paperwork, when my phone rang. Emily, crying hysterically. Adrian, you need to come home now. What's wrong? Ryan took the kids. I was in my car and driving before she finished the sentence. What do you mean he took them? They were playing in the front yard. I was inside making lunch. When I looked out, they were gone. Mrs. Patterson saw Ryan talking to them by his truck. Did you call the police? They're on their way. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I made it in 3. The police were already there, taking Emily's statement. I gave them everything I had on Ryan, the recordings, the photos, the documentation of his harassment. We've issued an Amber Alert, the detective said. We'll find them. But I wasn't waiting for the police. I called Derek. Ryan took my kids. Jesus, where are you? Home, but not for long. Adrian, let the cops handle this. The cops don't know Ryan like I do. I hung up and got back in my car. I knew exactly where Ryan had taken them. Ryan's gym had a small apartment above it where he sometimes stayed when he was working late. It was isolated, private, and exactly the kind of place a desperate man would go to make a last stand. I parked 2 blocks away and approached on foot. Through the upstairs window, I could see Ryan pacing back and forth. Jake and Eva were sitting on a couch watching TV. They looked scared but unharmed. I called 911 and gave them the location. Then I did what I'd been trained to do. I neutralized the threat. The back door to the gym was locked, but locks had never been much of an obstacle for me. I was inside and up the stairs in 30 seconds. Ryan was so focused on watching the street that he never heard me coming. Hello, Ryan. He spun around, his face going white when he saw me. Adrian, I can explain. Daddy! Eva ran to me and I scooped her up with one arm while keeping my eyes on Ryan. Jake, come here, I said. Jake ran to me and I put my other arm around him. Are you guys okay? We're fine, Jake said. Mr. Ryan said we were going on an adventure, but then he started acting weird. What kind of weird? Crying, Eva said, and talking to himself. I looked at Ryan, who was indeed crying. This wasn't supposed to happen, he said. What was supposed to happen? You were supposed to choose me, he said to the kids. I was supposed to be your new daddy. But we already have a daddy, Eva said, hugging me tighter. Ryan's face crumpled. But I love you. I love all of you. I was taking care of you when he was gone. Kids, go downstairs and wait for the police, I said. Are you coming? Jake asked. In a minute. After they left, Ryan and I stood alone in his pathetic little apartment. "You destroyed my life," he said. "You destroyed your own life when you decided to move in on a deployed soldier's family. Emily loved me. Emily used you, just like you used her." "That's not true, isn't it? You saw a lonely woman whose husband was overseas, and you saw an opportunity. You didn't love her, Ryan. You loved the idea of having what was mine." "I did love her. You loved controlling her. There's a difference." Ryan slumped into a chair, looking defeated. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now you go to jail for kidnapping. Then you get out and leave town, just like we agreed." "I can't leave. This is my home." "Not anymore." The police arrived then, and Ryan Miller was arrested for kidnapping, stalking, and harassment. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison and 5 years probation, with a restraining order that prohibited him from contacting me or my family ever again. Emily and I went to counseling. We worked through the betrayal, the lies, and the broken trust. It wasn't easy, and there were times when I wasn't sure we'd make it. But we did. 6 months later, Emily was pregnant with our 3rd child. A year later, Ryan Miller was released from prison and moved to another state. I heard he got a job at a gym in Phoenix and was dating a divorced mom with 2 kids. Some people never learn. But I had learned something important. Home isn't just a place you return to. It's a place you fight for. It's a place you defend. It's a place you protect with everything you have. And sometimes, protecting home means going to war. I won that war. My family was safe. My children were protected. My marriage was stronger than ever. Ryan Miller learned the hard way that you don't mess with a soldier's family. And Emily learned that some mistakes have consequences that last a lifetime. But we all learned something else too. Forgiveness is possible, healing is possible, and sometimes the best revenge is simply living well. Jake is 12 now, Eva is 10, and little Sarah is 2. They don't remember much about the time when Uncle Ryan was around, and that's fine with me. Some memories are better forgotten, some wars are worth fighting, and some victories are worth everything.